There are no roadblocks scheduled today on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, call 575-678-1178. Tonight's forecast is calling for mostly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of rain. In Alamogordo, expect a low of 67, Cloudcroft an overnight low of 56. Tomorrow we're looking at partly sunny, becoming mostly cloudy, 50% chance of rain. In Alamogordo tomorrow, high of 89, low of 68, Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 71, overnight low near 55 degrees.
This is the Roundup on ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Going from the Tularosa Basin and beyond, this is your local connection to the world of sports. From high school to college and to the pros, we cover the latest news and the biggest stories. Don't forget, this is your show. Change the topic anytime. Call us at 437-1230. The Roundup starts right now. ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Hello and welcome into the show. Hope you're having a fine Thursday. Calling to the show, 437-1230. A little bit later on in the program, because we're going to have our recorded interview with Alamogordo boys soccer. Had a great chat with Coach Wilder and the guys yesterday. I've got a nice photo up on our Facebook page right now. Fun talking to a group that's, defending state champs. All those guys we talked to yesterday were starters and main players in that group last year, and there are definitely going to be some changes with boys soccer this year. You've got 4 key seniors that graduated last year. I think they had 6 total from the group, but it's looking forward to. We're going to look back at last year a little bit, but we're going to look forward to this season, of course. So, the first 5-10 minutes, or not even 10 minutes, probably 5 minutes of the interview, we're looking back at last season. Just bear with us. But it was worth spending a little bit of time looking back. But I know that Coach Wilder and the entire group are geared towards Hobbs on Tuesday and seeing what happens from that point. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. Alamogordo boys soccer, Coach Wilder, and we'll hear who the rest of the group is in just a second. You're listening to ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. All right, well, joining us now, the defending Class 5A state champion boys soccer team, the Alamogordo boys soccer team, and their head coach, Lee Wilder. Coach, that's got to have a good ring to it to talk about being the defending state champs.
It does. A year ago, we were sitting here talking to you, and you were going over how that season was going to go. And I think I distinctly remember that we told you we believed that we could have a real big run into the tournament. And I think as the season went along, we started to believe that, I think with about 6-7 games left, once we won district, we really realized that we had a good shot at taking it all the way. And I think these boys bought into that, and obviously they accomplished the task that we laid before them.
All right. Well, if you want to introduce the group that you got with you, and it's a big group, you got 6 of them that you brought along with you today.
I only know the names of 2 of them, so we'll go. No, I'm just kidding. We have Julian Torres at the end. We have Johnny Lucero, Herbey Bustamante, Lucas Burch, Ezra Cadwallader. I'm going to make sure I get that one right. And we have Junior Barbosa.
Guys, how are you today? Good?
Yes, sir. We're good.
And that's what we like to hear. And does it feel good to come into the season as the defending state champs? Is that a good feeling for everybody, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, that's what we like to hear. Coach, I mean, you've had months now to kind of let it all sink in. When you think back, what's the favorite memory from that run last year? Is there one thing that stands out, or just a few things for you?
Well, I think the turning point in the season for me was the goal that Lucas scored, because the season wasn't going very well. And the goal that he scored in Hatch with 10 seconds left to give us the win, a 3-2 win. We didn't lose a game after that. I think that was 2 months straight, 16 games straight. We didn't lose a game after that. I think we made some lineup changes. People were playing in different positions. We changed the philosophy. It was very defensive a few years before. Maybe for reason, the team was very young, very inexperienced, small. So I think Drew, deceptively was trying to make a lineup to give them a chance to stay in games late, which it worked. But I think we had a team where we could be a lot more offensive. We told you in the interview that we were going to outshoot everybody and score more goals than everybody, and that's exactly what happened. But I think that point turned the season around for us, where it was a big moment, and then after that we went on a roll. So I think that was the turning point for me. That's the one I remember.
Lucas, what do you remember about that goal? What was happening? I mean, obviously that's got to be something in your high school career that really stands out for you, right?
Definitely. It was so quick though. Honestly, I don't even. It was off Cadwallader. It was off his header, and I thought I missed it initially, right top corner, and then, like I said, it just happened so quick. But it's a good memory for sure.
Yeah.
Keith will tell you that was an assist, but it was,
Yeah.
I think he was trying to score on that header, and ended up making it to Lucas on the far post. But we gave him an assist for it anyway. He lobbied for it.
There's no such thing as intentional and unintentional assists in soccer, so you'll take it. Junior, I mean, what was it about? I mean, was there one thing that you remember most about last year's state tournament run? Was there a moment or just the experience with these guys that stands out for you?
The experience with these guys.
Yeah, that's what. I mean, had you ever been on a team that had the kind of chemistry that y'all did last year?
Yeah, we have a traveling team, the Hot Shots, and we all play together. And the chemistry was there. It's been there since day one.
Yeah, all right. Ezra, I mean, when you look back at last season, I mean, same kind of question. I mean, it's such a. I mean, you're wearing your state championship shirt today. I know you guys wear that with pride. Was it during the season? Was when you guys came back and got to celebrate it with the folks here in town?
It was definitely when we were in Bernalillo. It was just kind of nice to see how everyone showed up for all the games, and we had all the support. And then the state game, even when we went down to begin with, how the crowd was there, and it just helped us. And we ended up coming back and winning everything.
All right, good. Herbey, was there a game that you knew for sure that this team was going to win the state title, or was it not until you guys that buzzer finally sounded at the end of that academy game?
Honestly, it was during the district run. After the fourth game, I think we started to believe that we could actually go on into state and win it. Initially, at first, we all questioned it. Obviously, had a little doubt, but after district winning that title, we knew that there was one more to win, and we wanted to end the season leaving this town a memory to live on forever.
Yeah, and there's no doubt that that's going to be the case with this group. I mean, Johnny, I think Herbey makes the point there that this is something people are going to remember. There's only 2 boys soccer teams that have won state titles in Alamogordo history, and you guys can say that you were a part of that. I mean, what is that going to mean to you going forward?
That's just one thing that we've done here, and I think that it's a very big accomplishment, and that I hope that we can continue on and we can win another one, because what Lee's been telling us to inspire us is that if we come back and we do it back-to-back, there's something that will probably never be done here again, so that we can be he had this saying last year in the season. He said you can either be the GOAT or the hero. So right now we're already the hero, so now we can be the GOAT.
There you go. Just go out there and work hard, right? And be the greatest of all time. Yeah. 2 different ways to look at the GOAT part of it there as well. Julian, I mean, when you look back at last season, what's special for you? I know you guys are going to start focusing on this season. Probably already have, but just looking back on last year real quick, what stands out for you?
It was probably whenever our first game, it was against Chaparral. And we started, our first goal was by our captain, and I don't know, it was a really intense game, and whenever Keith had put that second goal in, I really thought that maybe we could win the state championship, and we just kept going through the tournament, and we had beat Farmington, and we got to the final, and then we were state champs, so it happened really quickly, so.
Yeah, it was a fun run, and I can tell you how much fun I had just watching you guys up there. So I appreciate y'all doing what you did last year, because I can honestly say from my standpoint, I never got to cover a state championship team. You guys gave me that opportunity, so I appreciate the heck out of that. Well, Coach, we can look back at last season, but I know you guys already have eyes going forward to this season. What's the biggest challenge trying to go back and repeat, or to have the same kind of success when you guys had such a great season last year?
Well, there's 2 major challenges that are laid before us. Is that they realigned the districts. So even though we're 5A champs and there is no more 6A, we are still the reigning 5A champs, but we all know it's now a blend of 6A and 5A. So I think the challenge is going to be there for us. We were lucky enough to be in a really tough district last year. The teams that we played against last year were just as good as the 6A teams, and we actually did well against some of the 6A teams. We beat Hobbs 4-0, and they ended up being a semifinalist in 6A. So we know that we can play with these teams, but there's not going to be any games off this season. I wanted to make sure that our strength of schedule was up, so our preseason, I wanted to make sure that we scheduled tougher teams, because if we want to get a good seeding at the end of the year, our strength of schedule is going to make a big difference, because I don't think we're going to have a tough time winning as many games in the season before state than we did last year. So if we can keep our strength of schedule up, then that'll help with our seeding. So that's the number one thing that's going to make it tough for us this year, is that blending of 5A and 6A. The second thing is being defending champs. You got a target on your back. There's a lot of teams out there. If they're having a bad season and they've, say, lost 3 games in a row and we come into town, they can recoup some of their season if they say they beat us. So having that target on your back is going to make it a little bit tougher for us. Hopefully these guys take it in their stride. Creates a chip on their shoulder that if people want a piece of us, let's go out and give them a piece.
Yeah. And I think, obviously another part of it is, seniors that graduated last year. Adam's gone, Keith, Diego, Antonio's gone. Julian, you're kind of the guy up front there. It was you and Adam last year, and now, you're going to be up at the top, and probably, I'm sure there's going to be other folks who are going to be expected to score goals, but I'm sure Coach is going to be looking to you a lot. Are you excited to have that opportunity this year?
Yeah, definitely. But last year I had quite a bit of goals, but it wasn't just because of me. It was because of Adam and coming from our midfield, send me balls. So I'm really looking forward to our team just communicating, and maybe I could get some advantage.
Yeah, Johnny. The defense obviously did so many great things last year. There were so many big plays at that back line, and you guys, for the most part, are pretty much intact from last year. You didn't really lose anybody from that back line, right?
No, the only person we lost is Herbey. He last year he took one for the team because he's a midfielder at heart, I guess. But he took one for the team, and he went back there and played with me. So I really appreciate that, and so does the whole team. But other than that, we have a strong core. Like me, Ezra, and Brett, we've been playing together since I think my freshman year, whenever they all came on the team. So ever since then, we've just all been learning each other. So the chemistry is definitely there, and we have a strong goalie this year again too.
Yeah, Herbey, you excited to get back to the midfield, or are they going to move you a little bit more up top this year? What's Coach been telling you so far?
I'm going to be playing kind of like what Antonio was playing last year.
Okay.
And obviously, grateful for the opportunity for playing defense with Johnny and all them. And most definitely, if we get into really tough situations where we're barely winning, I have no problem going back there again. I'm definitely looking forward to playing midfield, though. Get more opportunities to score, more chances to give Julian the ball, or Junior, or any of the guys up front. And just looking forward to being able to direct the team on the upper part of the field rather than just the back.
Yeah. Lucas, are you going to be still in the midfield, a little bit more up top this year? What's Coach been telling you that they're thinking for you this season?
I'm going to be filling into Keith's role, basically, the cam role, so distributing more to Junior, Julian, everyone up top. So I'm excited. That's kind of the position that I like to play more rather than the wing, so...
Yeah, and watching Keith last year, he kind of had. Sometimes was the quarterback out there, not to use the other football term, but he definitely was pointing people in different directions and things like that. Is that something that Coach is expecting from you this year?
Almost definitely. I have to lead from that position, and I think I'm ready to do it, and hopefully I can do well.
Ezra, we already talked with Johnny about the defense, but what do you feel like you guys' biggest strengths back there are? Because I know you guys have good size. You definitely showed some great speed last year. What are maybe you feeling more comfortable about going into this season compared to last year at that defensive role?
It always helps to be a year older, a year more experience. We got lots of speed and good size, and I think we'll be pretty good. We'll be able to keep some clean sheets this year, I expect.
Yeah. Is experience more than anything else the big thing for you, just knowing game situations a little better?
Experience helps a lot, where to push people, when to step, when not to step, that kind of thing. The more you play, the more used you get to it, and you make better decisions.
Gotcha. Junior, how about you? What are we looking for you from this year? You scored some goals last year, scored some big goals for the team last year?
Well, last year I played midfield right wing, and then this year I'm taking Adam's spot, and I'm going to help Julian up there. And then I'm going to get some balls from Herbey, Lucas, anybody that's playing midfield. And me and Julian are going to be up there scoring.
All right. You excited about getting that role up top and
Yes,
being more of a goal scorer this year?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's what we like to hear, Coach. I mean, it seems like these guys are all excited about the roles, and some of them are going to have to step into different positions this year.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some people moving around, but I feel comfortable with the places we have people. There's a couple of positions where I got 3 or 4 different guys can fit into those 2 positions, and we'll figure it out for the rest of the week, and maybe in the first couple of games who fits best, who's going to get the most amount of minutes. But these guys here and a few others are going to be solidified in the squad. Some of these guys, the only way they're going to come out is if they get injured.
And that's to say, last year you guys didn't sub much. I mean, is that going to be the idea again this year too?
Well, I always want to put the best 11 on the field to give us the best chance to win. I know it seems unfair to some of the parents out there, but we're here to win district and state championships, and you don't do that by being fair. You do it by being ruthless. And I think these guys out here are ruthless. We got a different lineup this year. We had 2 stallions up front last year that people couldn't catch. This year we got a stallion and a puma.
Puma's me.
The offense is going to be a little bit different. These guys play differently, but I think Junior's going to have a lot of opportunities to score. Julian is very, very quick. There's probably only 4 or 5 guys in the state that could catch him on a sprint run, and 2 of them are sitting in this room. So there's not very many guys out there that are going to be able to catch him. So we're going to make sure we feed him the ball up front. Teams are going to figure out pretty quickly they're going to have to double team him. That means Junior's going to get a lot of opportunities, and this guy is like a sniper in front of goal. He doesn't miss very many opportunities. I fully expect he's going to increase the amount of goals he scored last year. He scored 8 last year, and he's going to get a lot more than that. Julian scored 14, and he's going to get a lot more than that. So I think we know what the concept is. The concept is to move the ball and attack quickly, especially through the midfield. Get the ball in these guys' feet as fast as possible in front of goal. And I'll take these 2 guys over any 2 guys in the state.
I know when I put the Facebook post up, I'll make sure it's the Puma and the Stallion from now on. That's when you guys score goals.
That's right.
Goalkeeper, Diego and Logan kind of played throughout the season. Diego obviously finished it. He graduated, so Logan is going to get that role this year, or is that still up for grabs right now?
Logan is going to get that role. We were very lucky that we had a kid named Javen that came out. He was a junior. And he's kind of impressed us. He's really stepped up. He's not quite as tall as Logan, but his lateral movement and his ability to get off the line, he's very quick. And if Logan gets injured or if there's any yellow card, I think this kid will be able to step in and give us some minutes. But Logan's going to be the number 1.
And we got 6 of the guys here. Who else are we going to see out there on the pitch for you guys this year? I know there's obviously going to be a couple of new faces for you.
There's a couple of new faces. There's a guy named Chris Hemphill who came here from Texas or Oregon or both, but he's shown a lot of promise. He's very quick. We're going to have to work on his positioning and his touch a little bit, but I think we'll see him out on the field. Daniel Ferranzami has worked hard to get in shape. He's a big monster. I know the football team would love to have him at 6'4" and about 180 pounds.
Yes.
But he's going to be playing for us, and he's going to see a lot of minutes out there. Bryson Kangas has done a great job. Came in great shape. Didn't play a lot of minutes last year, but we can expect to see a lot of him out there this year. And then there's some guys that moved up. There's Jesus Ochoa from the JV that moved up this year. I expect him to give us some minutes. David Reardon's going to give us some minutes. Our bench is going to be a little bit deeper this year than it was last year. Last year we might have went 3 deep, 4 deep in a pinch. Here I think we can play everybody off the bench and feel comfortable.
That's a nice luxury to have, I'm sure, to know that if somebody gets hurt or something happens. And that was something last year that you guys did get pretty, I don't want to say the word lucky, but that injuries really didn't hamper you guys a ton last year. That was definitely a bonus.
Yeah, it was. David Maldonado did a great job, and we had Diego's dad, Hillis, who's a physical therapist, to help out David in some situations, and they really did a good job keeping the players on the field, giving us great advice on how long to stay off of it. And that's one of the biggest things in this type of coaching, is that these guys know how to play. They've had great coaching since they were 9 years old to 8 years old. So these guys know how to play. It's managing their minutes and managing their injuries, making sure that in practice we do enough to win the game, but we don't do too much to make them tired so they can't perform in the game. That management aspect is a juggling aspect, and I think I do a pretty good job at it. A lot of people that watch the practices say, well, they didn't do nothing today. Well, that was intentional, because we want to make sure that they're rested for the game. That's the most important thing. So we manage their minutes, we manage the amount of time. We want to make sure that they keep in great shape throughout the year, but we've got so many games back to back that their physical fitness is going to be kept up just by playing time. So.
All right. Now we got 4 seniors here in the group, right? We've got 2 juniors. I want to make sure I have that right. We'll start over here with junior, a senior this year. I mean, is anything less than going out there and competing and having a chance at another state championship? Is anything less than that going to be okay with you guys this year, or what are your goals going into your senior year?
Just to get a winning season, have a good season, and just to play hard, just defend that state title.
All right, very good. Herbey, I mean, when you look at your senior season, I mean, I'm sure team goals more than anything else, but I mean, when you look at what you want out of this upcoming season, what comes to mind for you?
I mean, just like Junior said, of course, a winning season, but also just to be able to go out there and winning is always a great thing, but to be able to enjoy it with these guys. I mean, for some of us, after this season, we're not playing with each other anymore. I mean, we all separate, go our own paths, but just one last ride with these guys is probably going to be the greatest thing to ask for from this season.
Johnny, how about you? I mean, when you look forward to your senior season?
Same thing as Herbey, just to be able to play with the people who I've just grown up with, really keep on playing one last time, and just to be able to
be able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right. Julian, how about you, Ben? When you look forward to, this is your last opportunity to play Alamogordo Tiger soccer. What do you think about heading into this season?
Just pretty much the same thing as all of them. I just want to go out and give it my all, make sure that I don't regret saying that I didn't try my hardest or anything, but I just want to try my hardest for my team. I grew up with them for the longest time, and they're family to me, so
yeah. All right. Lucas, I mean, I think the same as last year. Everybody wanted to play hard for that senior group last year. I mean, is that the kind of way that you and the juniors and the rest of the class are looking at it?
Yeah, I think it's the same mentality, because I know for myself and a lot of the kids coming back this year, we've been playing with them our entire lives, or at least me. And it's the same thing with the group last year. I just want to go out with a bang this season and do all that we did last year and more if possible, and just give my all for the team, for them.
Yeah.
Give them what they deserve, basically.
All right. Ezra, I mean, your goals for the upcoming season, I know we talked a lot about the senior part of it, but what are you looking for out of this upcoming year?
Just have a good season, defend our title as best that we can, play for the guys that it's their last year, and make sure we have a good season for their sake and make it a good last season for them.
Yeah. Coach, I mean, something else, you can't say enough about the support that you guys have gotten last year, and going into this year, I'm sure it's going to be the same. It's been fun watching the community rally around you guys. How much have you enjoyed that and enjoyed watching them rally around these boys?
Yeah, I especially at the state game last year, we were playing in Albuquerque against an Albuquerque school, and we had more support up there than they did. Of course, we had crazy fans. But
they were wild.
But they were making a lot more noise. They really were able to pull us through, and I know the guys really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, and I think it made a difference on the field. The guys, when they were getting tired in that second half, because you said about not subbing, we didn't make a single sub that entire game. These guys stayed on the field the entire game. So I think those fans pulled us through, and it was greatly appreciated. And if I could just say, for this year, our goal is to get it back to the state championship. If we can just get back there and get into those last 3 games, I think it'd be foolish for anybody to bet against this team. Because if some team can win 3 games straight under those circumstances, it's this team here.
All right, well, I think it's going to be another great year for you guys. It was so much fun last year. I think it's going to be the same thing this year. You open up at home. In fact, 3 home games next week over at Reinersteinhof Soccerplex. Get out there and support this team, and we look forward to a great year. Guys, good luck this season. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you.
And that was Alamogordo boys soccer as they get ready for their 2018 season. Again, if you missed any part of that interview, we'll have the full show available up on the YouTube channel. I noticed a lot of you already listening on there as we speak, but we'll have that available for you guys to listen back to as soon as we wrap up the program. So, yeah, it should be a fun season. I think you got a lot of talent returning this year. Certainly there's places they're going to have to fill in for guys that graduated, but I think that they're going to be just as competitive, and I really think that they'll be fine in the classification with the bigger schools. I just don't, they've played well against the Cruces schools the last few years, so I think in district they'll be fine. Certainly once they get up to state, but I still contend last year's group would have been a competitor, if not in that state championship game in 6A as they were in 5A. And I think Academy was just as good as any other team in the state was last year. So I believe that they've got the pieces, they've got the coaching staff, they've got all the things they need to be successful again this year. And I'll tell you what, the fan support for them has been excellent. I can just tell you from the stuff that we post on social media about boys soccer and how much, and same girls soccer too, but the excitement among the community is definitely up there for Tiger soccer again this year. So it'll be, I think it'll be a fun season, and looking forward to it. They open up against Hobbs on Tuesday out at Reinersteinhof Soccerplex, and 2 more games next week at home for the boys. They take on Los Lunas on Thursday, and then I believe it's Chaparral on Saturday. So that'll be fun. It's always fun. There's you talk about it. I was chatting earlier in the week about Alamogordo maybe not having a huge amount of rivalries. I'll tell you what, those matches between Alamogordo and those 3 teams in that district, there was just a high amount of tension and competitiveness, and a little chippiness too with both Chaparral and Santa Teresa. I think there's actually going to be less of that this year in the Las Cruces district, which is, I know you'd think is strange, but I think there'll be less of that kind of I don't know. I'll say the game at state between Alamogordo and Chaparral was pretty tame, but the district games were a bit of a different story. Same with the Santa Teresa's, so it'll be fun. Be at least playing those teams in the non-district still, and I'm excited to see what the season brings. So hope to see a lot of you out there coming up next Tuesday. And again, we'll have that interview available up on the YouTube channel. We'll post a link to it up on the Facebook page as well if you missed any of the interview, which was kind of a long one there, but had a lot of good stuff to talk about. A reminder, we'll talk Alamogordo girls soccer on the show tomorrow. They're going to come in, I think, around 4 o'clock today, and we'll have that interview up live at 2 o'clock tomorrow on the show. So if you want to preview Alamogordo girls soccer, that's tomorrow. We'll talk Alamogordo volleyball next Tuesday, and next Wednesday it'll be cross country. And a reminder, Friday night from 7 to 8, we're going to do a special edition of the Roundup where we'll just chat with the folks that are going to be out there for the Friday Night Lights event. So probably get some football players, hopefully some cheerleaders, and I think the athletic trainers are out there too. So I'm sure I'll still David Maldonado, maybe a couple of his trainers, and have them come over and chat with us. So that'll be a fun deal. So I'll look forward to that coming up on Friday night. And don't forget, scrimmages tonight. We'll talk about that after break. I got to take a commercial break. Come back. More of the Roundup after this. You're on ESPN Alamogordo 103.7.
Now you have a choice when it comes to keeping massive files of your bank statements every month. With an online e-statement, you'll have an accurate, easy-to-read electronic statement you can access anywhere, anytime. Get more control over your cash flow. And no more giant filing cabinets. Our e-statements get an A+. First National Bank, member FDIC. When you grow, we grow.
If your tires hold more excuses than air, that's a big oh no. If bad alignment has your car swerving to the left like the world's slowest U-turn, that's also a big oh no. If you get a flat at night in any town ending in Vania, that's a very big oh no. And how most scary movies start. Maybe stay in your car. Thankfully, for all your car's big oh no's, there's always a big oh yes. Now through August 25th, save $100 instantly on sets of 4 Big O brand tires with paid installation. Plus, get up to a $50 mail-in rebate on purchases of $500 or more when using your Big O credit card. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Valid at participating locations on in-stock sets of 4 Big O brand tires. Up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted retail price not to exceed $35. Disposal fees extra where permitted. Not valid with other offers. See store for pricing. Mail-in rebate subject to credit approval. Not valid with other credit rebate offers. See rebate form for terms and conditions.
What makes Vision Ford Lincoln Hyundai unique? At Vision Ford, we're all about you, your vision, your style, your needs, and your story. Vision is fully stocked with dozens of the hottest 2018 models, including the Ford F-Series, America's #1 selling truck for 40 years. With financing options that fit every budget and a sales team dedicated to you, Vision Ford Lincoln Hyundai continues the Yes We Can tradition. All we need is you. Visit us today at 1500 South White Sands Boulevard or 24/7 online at visionfordlincoln.com.
If you find yourself frustrated because your internet is slow, then you need to call Tularosa Basin Telephone Company. They have the speed, the reliability, and the customer service to turn your frustration into smiles. Now, doesn't that sound like a better plan? Call Tularosa Basin Telephone Company at 585-2700 and get connected today.
Score big with great savings at Justin's Motor Company. Hustle on down to one of Justin's 2 locations. Cars, trucks, SUVs, Jeeps, you name it, Justin's has it. Makes and models to fit any budget and the best customer service in town. One-stop online shopping makes your next car buying experience a breeze. Check out the full inventory, meet the staff, even apply online. All at justinsmotorcompany.com. 2 locations conveniently located on the Holloman Highway or 489-5820, Justin's Motor Company.
As part of the ongoing effort to keep the roads of New Mexico safe, we would like to share a list of things you should never attempt behind the wheel of your automobile.
Texting your friends, wrestling your friends, eating a sandwich, making a sandwich, hugging your kids, buckling your kids, brushing your hair, brushing your teeth, flossing your teeth, adjusting your seat, rubbing your feet, reading the paper, using a shaver, applying makeup,
You get
applying
the
to
point.
college.
A large number of car crashes occur when the driver is doing something other than driving. Drive safe, New Mexico.
Paid for by the New Mexico Department of Transportation and aired in cooperation with the NMBA and the station.
What I remember most is the loneliness I felt, the separation from other people. At the end, drinking was no fun for me. Since I've started to attend AA meetings, the greatest gift is that I've become reconnected. I'm part of life again. I really like myself, and that's wonderful. AA is a miracle in my life. Alcoholics Anonymous. It works.
For the local AA hotline, call 430-9502. That's 430-9502.
Hi, I'm Matt Kenseth. You don't have to be a race car driver to know that life can be full of drama. Some of it you can't control, like mechanical issues, high winds, and rain delays. But there's some drama you can skip.
Skip the drama that comes with not having your high school diploma or equivalency. Find free adult education classes near you and finish your diploma. Visit finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org.
You just need to take that first step and find free classes near you and leave the drama for the racetrack.
Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ed Council.
ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Welcome back into the show, 437-1230. If you want to call in, now we are live. If you want to join the program, you're more than welcome to. Got Tiger football scrimmage tonight. They'll kick off at 6 o'clock. The scrimmage starts. And just a reminder, if you've never been to a high school football scrimmage before, it's not going to be like a regular game. I mean, they'll be moving stuff around, and they may be doing both halves of the field tonight. So just be aware of that. You know, it's going to look a little bit different. Both, all 3 teams, Alamogordo, Gadsden, Hatch, are just going to be trying to work through some kinks and get things ready for the start of the season. And I'll definitely let you know that there won't be any keeping score from my end of who won, who lost, all that stuff. We'll chat with Coach Cisco and some of the group, I'm sure, tomorrow night out at the Friday Night Lights event and see what they thought of the scrimmage. So it'll definitely be a fun event tonight, and hopefully the weather holds out. Seems like it's a little dark out there at the moment. or at least from my one little window that I can see out of here in my studio. So I'll check. I actually have 2 windows, but anyway. It'll be 6 o'clock tonight, and then tomorrow, Tularosa's hosting Cobre. That's at 6 p.m. Cloudcroft hosting Fort Sumner. That's at 7 p.m., so they have their scrimmages tomorrow as well. I was trying to get the information on Mescalero. I was unable to do so yesterday, so hopefully, I'll be able to post something for you guys and let you know what their scrimmage situation is. And, of course, next week everybody starts with games on either Friday or Saturday, so we'll be chatting that up as we get a little bit closer to it. Next Tuesday, we mentioned soccer, boys at home against Hobbs. Girls will be at Hobbs next Tuesday. Girls also play at Chaparral coming up on Saturday. We've got volleyball. The varsity team opens up their season next Thursday against Ruidoso. The 9th grade and the JV teams are playing scrimmages against Ruidoso next Thursday. So just be aware of that. It'll be I'm sure a little bit different in that way there. And what else do we have? I think that's it next week. Tularosa volleyball doesn't begin until the week after. I think they begin with their match against Cloudcroft. Let me pull that up and make sure I got that right. Yeah, so August 30th, which would be a couple Thursdays, or 2 weeks from today, as a matter of fact. I do want to mention, Coach Montes wanted to make sure to mention that they are selling boxes of green chili to be roasted, I think, next Saturday, the 25th, as a fundraiser for Tularosa Lady Cat Volleyball. So if you're interested in that, give a call to the high school. I guarantee they can get you in contact with Coach Montes. If you know one of the players, guarantee they're doing the fundraising part of it as well. So just a heads up on that they've got that fundraiser headed over the next week or so if you want to support Lady Cat Volleyball. And what else do we have for schedule stuff next week other than football? Cloudcroft Cross Country actually begins next Saturday. They're going to be at the Trails to Rails. I thought it was Rails to Trails. I have no idea. Anyway, it's their 3-mile. That's going to be next week. I'm sure I'm wrong. Cloudcroft volleyball. That's funny. On their schedule, they have Eunice as their first game, but I think they're supposed to be Cloudcroft. Or they're supposed to play Tularosa on the 30th. That's weird. Yeah, not on their initial schedule, but I think that may just be a misprint for some reason. Not sure what the deal is there. And Mescalero volleyball begins next Thursday against Gateway Christian as their season gets underway. I get that right? Okay. No, is that? I feel like I'm looking at a bunch of different schedules here. Mildly confused at what I'm looking at. No, that's right. I don't know what I'm doing. I had to basically take screenshots of the Max Preps page because they don't have the schedules, unfortunately, online for Mescalero, and now I've got myself all confused. I did this. I was like, oh, this will be an easy way to remember all this stuff. I'm doing well. And we'll have the brackets for the Las Cruces Public Schools soccer tournament, which is coming up here in a couple weeks, and the Los Alamos soccer tournament. The girls are going to Las Cruces. The boys are going to Los Alamos this year. That's a little bit of a different twist. They had been going to the Las Cruces tournament the last few years, but I think the thought process, I'm sure, for Coach Wilder was, they're going to be seeing the Cruces schools in district, wanted to see somebody else in their non-district. So, but I think there's some teams in that Cruces tournament that, Alamogordo actually opens up against Las Cruces High, so Santa Teresa's not in the district. I think everybody else is the district, though. The other 7 teams, with the exception of Santa Teresa, are the district, so it is what it is. It's all about getting experience this early part of the year, try to get off to a good start, and districts where obviously it's going to count the most as the season progresses, but headed towards the last weekend without really any high school sports. I know we've got the scrimmages coming up today and tomorrow, but those obviously don't count towards the win-loss record. Everything else from this point on will count. I believe the Alamogordo girls soccer team is going to scrimmage on Saturday against the boys JV team. I believe that's the plan to do that over at the Soccerplex. And as far as I know, the boys varsity team is not, unless they've changed that, is not scrimmaging this year. They were trying to get something set up for the 14th, and it just didn't work out. So if that changes, or if I have my information wrong, I'll certainly pass it along to you guys and make sure you know. I don't believe volleyball's varsity team has a scrimmage, or at least they don't have one listed on their schedule. And cross country, I know that some years they have ran a scrimmage race, but it doesn't appear that they're doing that this year. Again, at least not on the schedule. I'm sure if they wanted to, they can go up and run in Cloudcroft and just run the open race and not have it count towards their 10 events if they chose to do so. But I'm sure that'll be up to Coach Giggler. If some reason they decide to, I'm sure it wouldn't be that hard for them to get involved in that race if they wanted to, coming up on the 25th. But as far as I know, that's not happening. And other than that, not much else to mention for the local stuff. Hope to see a lot of you guys out there at the scrimmages tonight. Again, that's Tiger Stadium, 6 p.m. this evening. Gadsden and Hatch are coming in. And so, three-way scrimmage. I know Alma wanted to try and do some stuff with their JV squad as well. So you could have scrimmage stuff going on both ends of the field tonight. So I think it'll be fun, and just to get a little taste of high school football to begin the season, and get your first look at hopefully both the varsity and the JV side for Alamogordo football. So it's a good thing to be excited about and get ready for the start of the season. All right, that's all I got for local stuff. Man, I tell you what, when I'm getting fired up about baseball in the middle of August, I was sitting there watching I'd flipping through the channels and watching the Red Sox-Phillies game last night, and they split the screen and went to the Braves game because Ronald Acuna Jr. had hit a home run in 5 straight games, and he had his first at bat, and he had actually hit a bunch of leadoff homers in recent games. And very first pitch of the game, the Marlins pitcher Jose Urena, just drilled him with a 97-mile-an-hour fastball in his elbow, and of course it was on from there. And Urena got ejected. Brian Snitker, the Braves manager, got ejected, and it raised the debate was going on all night long about when you decide to hit a player or not, which I still don't know. I don't have a huge problem with I'm going to protect my player deal. I do have a problem when you're throwing a 98-mile-an-hour fastball at somebody. There's something, if that gets away from you just a little bit and you hit somebody in the head, you can kill somebody. Got to be careful with that sort of thing. And, you had Sutcliffe on the ESPN broadcast basically saying, hey, they should leave Urena in the game so he has to come up to bat later. And that's just kind of perpetuating what's going forward. And we'll see if he ends up getting suspended or not. There's a lot of people who think that that's probably going to happen. And the Braves basically feel like he did that on his own. That was not a Marlins, Don Mattingly saying, hey, this guy's been killing us the last few games. We need to go get him. And that's the big thing. You go out there and you hit somebody, it's because maybe they showed you up or did something by the unwritten rules, which I don't like. But if that's what's necessary, whatever. But as far as I can tell, the only reason he did it, and he claims that he didn't mean to, I doubt that considerably, but that the only reason he did it is because he was just, beating him up. He was hitting the ball so well off the Marlins, and that's not right, And then you got Keith Hernandez on the Mets broadcast later in the night basically saying, I would do that. That's the way that, you should treat it. And, if a guy's going out there hitting home runs off you every night, yeah, you got to hit him. It's like, every sport has just their overmanly, kind of Neanderthalish tendencies. Every sport has it. Hockey has it with fighting. Football, has it with guys still wanting to, wearing hats like make football violent again. There's a lot of basketball players that wish we would go back to the 80s and 90s, early 90s, when you could, commit real hard fouls on guys. It's always going to exist because there's, just guys. We're we can be aggressive sometimes. Not to say that women can't, but I feel like sometimes women can think it out a little bit better than we can in some of those situations. So that stuff I don't think is ever going away from baseball. But I still think it's, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and apparently that was they looked at the statistics in terms of first pitches for Urena throughout the season, and that was easily the hardest fastball he had thrown to open up a game this entire season. So, I mean, I guess you could argue, maybe he was just trying to amp up a little bit and he lost control. I think even Marlins fans were like, yeah, that was not a good move. And more importantly, you lose your starting pitcher one pitch into the game. That's probably the worst part of it all. So, yeah, I was watching a little fired up last night. I wasn't like yelling at the TV or anything, but I thought it was definitely somebody strongly pointed out last night. They put up a picture of Urena's jersey with the number on it. Is it this weekend? No, it's next weekend that is Players Weekend, where guys are, they can put nicknames on the back of their jerseys. There's a guy that has, I want to say his last name ends in Berger, and he plays for the Diamondbacks, and he's using an emoji. I can't remember what the first part of the name is, but he's got a burger emoji and then something else on the other side. It was really inventive. Well, somebody put a chicken and then the poo emoji, and you can guess what they mean by that in Urena's name on the back. I laughed at that. I thought that was good. I thought that was solid stuff. By the way, Acuna's in the lineup today. That was the concern, is that possibly he was going to be hurt from that, and it really wasn't. It doesn't appear to be that big of a deal. So if he's back in the lineup today, it's not that big of a deal, or not a long-term kind of an issue. Let's see. What is this? John Elway says the Broncos won't consider Colin Kaepernick if a quarterback is signed. I guess in order to find a backup quarterback. And there was a comment here that said, you know what? And I said this a while ago. Colin had a chance to be here. We offered him a contract. He didn't take it. As I said in my deposition, he's had his chance to be here. He passed it. Elway gave a deposition in May for Kaepernick's lawyers in Kaepernick's collusion case against the NFL. Kaepernick attended the deposition. Elway met with Kaepernick twice in 2016 as the Broncos and the 49ers tried to work out a trade that would have sent Kaepernick to Denver. At the time, the Broncos wanted to trim his guaranteed salary from $12 million to $7 million, whether that would involve the 49ers paying the difference or Kaepernick simply taking a pay cut. So, I mean, I guess he can say that he made an effort to try to bring him into the fold there in Denver. And, of course, Kaepernick has a collusion case against the NFL right now that teams are purposely not signing him, which it's hard to not believe that that's what's going on right now with Kaepernick. And you can believe what you want on that, but there's a lot of backup and third-string quarterbacks in the NFL that I don't think are nearly as talented as Colin Kaepernick, and I know it has to do with, everything has to do with the protests that have been, that he, started off a few years ago. It's going to be the third season that we're going to be dealing with this nonsense. And let me state, when I say nonsense, I just say that the coverage of it and the back and forth between the President of the United States and the players, and usually the coaches have to get involved somehow, and my honest reaction to all of it is I'm just tired of it. I'm not saying that I don't understand where the players are coming from in that what they're trying to get awareness for. I certainly understand people's frustration with it in terms of what should be done during the national anthem. A lot of people feel like, it's not an anthem protest. I see that all the time. They're not protesting the national anthem. I don't think people believe. I mean, they see those headlines that they don't believe that. It's more of they know that's when it's happening. It is a protest during the national anthem. And for a lot of people, it doesn't sit well with them. And that's not going to change. And they may be like me where, listen, I understand what you're trying to do, But you also can't change the way somebody's going to view somebody not standing during the anthem. I mean, it's gonna bother some people, and they're allowed to be bothered by it. Just gotta not care from that standpoint. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen this NFL season. It's exasperating. Exhausting. But I don't know. I guess the question is how much attention it's going to get this year compared to previous seasons. Is that going to be less than? I don't know. So, judging by the preseason, probably about the same. We'll take a break. We'll come back. If you want to call into the show, 437-1230. More of the roundup for you after this.
There are no roadblocks scheduled today on either Highway 70 or 54 South. For the latest roadblock information, call 575-678-1178. Tonight's forecast is calling for mostly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of rain. In Alamogordo, expect a low of 67, Cloudcroft an overnight low of 56. Tomorrow we're looking at partly sunny, becoming mostly cloudy, 50% chance of rain. In Alamogordo tomorrow, high of 89, low of 68. Cloudcroft tomorrow, high of 71, overnight low near 55 degrees.
This is Brandon with Desert Sun. I'm not sure if you all know this, but Desert Sun Auto Group consists of 5 dealerships across the great state of New Mexico. This means we have 5 new car departments with over 500 vehicles to choose from and over 200 quality pre-owned vehicles. Majority of these vehicles, when bought from us, are backed with Desert Sun's lifetime powertrain protection. Stop by either Desert Sun Motors or Desert Sun Toyota today and let us help you find your new ride. See our full inventory at DesertSunMotors.com.
I'm Ed Harrell, author of The Kindness Revolution. Students, parents, and teachers all across the country are getting ready for the new school year. Unfortunately, there's also too much fear in some of our children. Fear that they're going to experience bullying at school. Bullying is the sport of cowards and comes in many forms and from many directions. It is when intimidation as a result of age, size, or group takes place, and it happens much too often. It results in too many of our children being afraid, and it needs to stop. If you suspect your child is being bullied, talk to someone at your school. Let your teacher, counselor, or principal know that you suspect a problem and ask for their help. They're there for that and will be glad to support you. These leaders are trained to help and ready to assist. The worst mistake we can make in any circumstance is not to be heard. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
When you hear the term Outfitters of Champions, you know it's the Winner's Circle. They can do all your custom silk screen and embroidery on hats, shirts, and jackets. Whether it's for your business, team sales, special events, or personal use. The Winner's Circle is the place for quality work at reasonable prices with group and team discounts available. They also customize trophies, personalized plaques, and sporting gear. The Winner's Circle, 1201 10th Street, or give them a call at 437-9373.
Is your back-to-school list getting a little longer than you expected? OFCU's Visa Platinum Credit Card eases the unexpected. OFCU's Visa Platinum Credit Card gives you an interest-free grace period of at least 25 days on new retail purchases when the balance is paid in full each month. No fees for cash advances at OFCU's ATMs and branches. Back to school with OFCU is as easy as ABC. All loans subject to credit approval. Other restrictions may apply. Federally insured by NCUA. OFCU, 3 branches in Otero County. Call 434-8500.
Lose weight, be happier, get smarter, improve your memory, all by doing one thing. Sleep well. Tax time in 2018 is your chance to catch up on great sleep. Use your hard-earned tax refund to buy yourself the one thing that can make the biggest difference in your health, a new mattress to get better sleep. Sleep Well is here to help you find the right mattress for your needs. Back problems? Too heavy snoring? Sleep Well can help you. Sleep hot? Your partner toss and turn? No problem. Sleep Well can help. Corner of First and White Sands. Sleep Well. When you sleep well, you live well.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him opening his own clothing store at the age of 18? 1 in 138,000. Excited to be a part of pop culture, he packed for the big city. The odds of finding someone to invest in his vision? 1 in 4.5 million. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
You're listening to ESPN Alamogordo 103.7. Just a reminder, if you missed out on the boys soccer interview earlier on in the show, we'll have the full hour of the program posted up on our YouTube channel. I'll post a link to it up to the Facebook page if you missed out during the live section of the show a little bit earlier on. So, especially if you're just finding the link either on our Facebook page. I know a few other people shared it. If you're just tuning in and you're going, where's the interview? Well, we did it at the top of the hour. We'll have the full segment on there for you guys to listen to at your leisure, whenever you wish, as many times as you'd like. So, we'll have that coming up for you. Again, girls soccer on the show tomorrow. Going to be chatting with them today. Next Tuesday, we'll talk Alamogordo volleyball. Next Wednesday, it's cross country. And then we'll have, I'm sure, more coming up. And then, reminder, tomorrow night, from 7 to 8, be hanging out over at Tiger Stadium. Friday Night Lights. We'll do an hour edition of the Roundup special. Lead you right into the Diamondbacks game against, I think they got the Padres tomorrow. But we'll hopefully be able to sneak in some chats with some of the Alamogordo football team, coaches, some cheerleaders, and also I believe the trainers are going to be out there, so we'll probably grab David Maldonado as well. Because, I mean, I know they've been working just as hard as the players in terms of what time they've had to be out there when two-a-day started last week. It's been a lot of work for them as well, so we'll have a chance maybe to chat with them. And I'm sure we'll find some other people out there. Mr. Perry, I'm sure will be there, maybe some other surprises. So we'll look forward to having that for you guys 7 to 8 tomorrow here on ESPN Alamogordo. Kind of a preview Friday night, get you used to tuning in. I know the big thing for me tomorrow will be making sure our equipment and everything's working, so when we hit our first road game next week, we're good to go. At least that's the plan. So looking forward to that tomorrow. And, of course, scrimmage tonight, Tiger football hosting Gadsden and Hatch. That starts at 6 p.m. over at Tiger Stadium. And that's the only big thing left to the weekend. Girls soccer scrimmaging the boys JV team on Saturday over at the Soccerplex. And what else we got? That's it for this week. Oh, and the football scrimmages out in Tularosa and in Cloudcroft. I'm sorry. Thule hosting Cobre tomorrow at 6 p.m. and Cloudcroft hosting Fort Sumner tomorrow at 7 p.m. So those are the two scrimmages for those teams. And again, as soon as I find out what's going on with Mescalero, I'll certainly pass that along to you guys. But I'll let you know what's happening there. And yeah, not much else to really make sure we get to here before the end of the program, which is coming up very quickly. Again, you can listen to Diamondbacks baseball tonight. I think it's the first series. They're playing girls soccer tomorrow, right here on the Roundup, 2 to 3. And plenty more season preview interviews coming up for you on the Roundup. You guys have a great rest of your day. And keep it here on ESPN Alamogordo.
Hey, this is Scott Van Pelt. You're listening to ESPN Alamogordo, 103.7, Southern New Mexico sports leader, KNMZ Alamogordo.
Radio Sports Center.
I'm Doug Brown. Brant Snedeker shoots a 59 today in the first round of the Wyndham Championship. He's only the 9th player on tour to shoot in the 50 Bridgewater. ESPN's Joe Tessitore